thought it was going to be with your expectations coming in? Did you anticipate sort of the struggles that you guys have been having? Has this been disappointing? Where does it stack?
I think we're a little bit behind of where we want to be, but we didn't. I don't think we had an exact clue of what to expect with everything that went on into the offseason. Team change, manufacturer change, alliance, there. But it's cool to see, every time I go in the shop of what we have to work with and what my guys are doing to push the envelope on every area that we can to maximize our efforts when we show up to the racetrack. And just a product, you don't know what to expect when you go to the racetrack. It's the cars are kind of inconsistent, but we'll go to say Texas and run top 15 all day and end up 7th or 8th wherever we did. But then you kind of show up to Chicago and we had 20. There's in Austin, there's only 6 different winners, so there's a lot of guys that are not young that have the gray hair that haven't won yet. So it's not all on us. Yeah, NASCAR's promoting a young generation, the youth movement, and all that stuff. But I think it's hard for new fans to come in and look at that because of I'm trying to word this right. I feel like the world and the world we live in today is so competitive. So you look at me, say I'm looking at myself from a fan's point of view. This guy's 22nd in the points, hasn't won anything, finished second Daytona 500, is getting promoted the hell out of, and hasn't done anything. And that's all you see. That's what you get. It's like bandwagoner sports fan. What they don't realize is what goes into it. I guess they think we're all going 200 mile an hour, which is true. My car handles way worse than Harvick or Kyle's car at 200 mile an hour, and we're holding on to it. So there's the differences in what the sport needs to illustrate to the fans better of the budgets that make all this stuff happen and make you a winner. Just because we look the same, the cars look the same, they go through tech and everything, they're damn sure not the same. My car is not the same as any other 18 or 4 car. It'd be interesting to see, let's swap seats. We can swap seats to see how that goes. It might be a couple positions better, but I'm pretty sure all the young guys would love to have their rides and dominate the races. But we have to work up to it. Those guys have been in the sport for I don't know, 15, 20 years. And so, hell, I got 14 more years of going till I get to that point, so I'm set, huh? If it's that trend.
We're next to Matt, the gentleman in the blue, and then to Jamie.
Matt Weaver, AutoWeek.com. Obviously, you were in a good position to win here back in February. Should you find yourself in that position again, especially considering where you are in the points, do you expect there to be a more aggressive race between you and your contemporaries?
I remember firing off on that last restart and just kind of trying to mind my own business and know, what was the last restart? 3 laps? 2? Was it green light checker? I don't know. Hell, that's still an hour racing. We can wad them up going into 1. And so it's like, God, I just hope I survive. So I think the biggest thing is damn, making sure you're in turn 3 coming to the checker. That's what you really set yourselves up for. We always say, set ourselves up for the end of the last 2 or 3 laps. Shit, we can wad them up quick in a hurry. So, for me, I'm just going to try to miss everything that happens. It's going to happen. Maybe not as big as the 500, maybe a lot worse than the 500 is. Hopefully we steer clear of it. But really, I can't answer that question truthfully and fully until we're entering turn 3, coming to checker.
Does respect go out the window on that last lap, last corner, trying to go win?
Yeah, you got to do everything you can to win. Look at last weekend. Respect was thrown out the window, and it ended up being a pretty cool race. So you got to do what you got to do to win.
The gentleman in the blue will finish with Jamie.
Hey, Bubba. How you doing?
Yeah.
So, how would you describe what the Coke Zero Sugar 400 means to NASCAR and the season as a whole? And secondly, how would you describe the fans that come here to watch you guys in Daytona?
Yeah, no shit. I thought you were like Ryan Seacrest for a second.
I don't make nearly as much money as him. He has better hair.
Sorry, ask that again. I forgot.
Let's start over. Pat Welter, News 13, not Ryan Seacrest.
how would you describe this race, the Coke Zero Sugar 400, what it means to the sport, and also what the fans are like here at Daytona?
Yeah, I remember coming down here 2010. I was racing legend cars down in Auburndale, or maybe in Orlando then. I can't remember. But having to drive up here for like, this was like the 500 weekend, driving up here for an appearance or something, and doing some stuff in NASCAR. And I remember just, holy cow, this place is awesome. And just driving into it and seeing, and feeling the atmosphere that surrounds Daytona, and I think they do a really good job. And obviously, fast forward 8 years later and seeing how it's changed so much with all the activation going on outside, and even across the street, new buildings and restaurants being opened up. So just the atmosphere and the whole attitude about being here, this is a fun, positive vibe I get. And then, with the Great American Race in February, and then following it up with Coke Zero Sugar 400, it's a huge race for all of us. It's a wild card race, so we know that anybody that enters the race has a chance to win. Like I said earlier, talking to Matt, if we can get to turn 3, coming to the checker, then hopefully we're inside the top 5, top 3, be able to make a move. Or you can be like Austin and dump the guy going into 3. But there's just a lot of factors that go into it. So every race is big for us, and even being on the sport's biggest stage, we continue. We're not going to change your attitude, anything, or do anything different. We're just, we want to win all of them, especially being a Coca-Cola racing driver. It's be a big one to win.
Jamie?
Hopefully that gets me choked.
Jamie Say, WKMG, Bubba. The last time you were up here, you showed real, genuine emotion after your finish at the Daytona 500. I'm just wondering, will you be able to hold it in if you get it done and end up in victory lane this weekend? And I'm wondering if you got any feedback from the last time you were up on that podium.
I probably was thinking boring as hell right now because I'm not crying and putting on a show and having my mom and all that foo-foo stuff. But Amanda and I, we had dinner with Drew, my crew chief, and his fiance Lori last night, and he was like, man, both times I've won here, I went straight back to the room and went to sleep. So that ain't happening if it happens Saturday. So there's gonna be a lot of emotion. You'll probably see my guys come in like Clint's guys did in Michigan, spraying Coke or any other beverage around, making you guys all feel part of the celebration. But I don't know, I think about winning all the time, and I think that's what drives all of us. Once you kind of lose the dreaming about winning and then sitting there, in interviews, watching these old races and like, damn, that'd be cool to win, do all that stuff. As soon as you lose that, then you're out. But for now, it's just still a dream to go out and win a NASCAR and win a cup race. So there's no other greater opportunity than this weekend. So whatever emotions come after that, have your recorders and video cameras ready.
I'll bring some Kleenex this time.
Yeah, thanks.
Good luck this week.
Thanks, sir.
1776.